Let us begin. Tabu kathamrita tapta jivanam kabibhiriditam kalmashapaham sravana mangalam srimadatatam bhubi grinanti e bhuridajanaha. Now Sri Ramakrishna, he was giving the reply to Srima's question, Master Master's some questions. Last time we were hearing that. In response to Srima's very wonderful questions, Sri Ramakrishna said, lust and greed alone is the obstacles to yoga, God realization. We can say the God realization, only two things. Kama esha, krodha esha. In Bhagavad Gita, Sri Krishna is telling two things. You must know these are the obstacles for God realization. But we go to so many details, but we do not care about these two, which are very, very important for spiritual progress. Kama esha, krodha esha. This is the desire, and when the desire is not fulfilled, the anger. These are the two things. Bhagavan Sri Ramakrishna said, lust and greed. Almost same thing he is telling. Kama, the lust, desire, and at the same time is going on demanding, craving like that. So this is the Kama and Krodha. If these two are there, then one cannot realize God. About the food, about the clothing, about the circumstances, about the language, it is nothing. But people will be giving so much of stress on all those things, forgetting these two important things. That's why we find that spiritual progress is stagnated. They are practicing religion, they are very sincere, but their spiritual progress is very, very stagnated. I have given the name, this Kathamrita, as Panchama Veda. This is really Veda. And then Veda only speaking about some ideology. Here Sri Ramakrishna is giving his example, his own personal example, his life. That is more important. And then he said, perform your duties in an unselfish spirit. This is also very unique thing. Master Maharshi was asking whether one should do work. Because that conception that the moment you are doing the work, you are getting the result, so don't do any work. That was the wrong conception. You cannot stop like that. You are going on doing some work. And all that work that you are doing, that is also creating some result. Why not you do all sorts of work, but knowing that how to do it, the secret of work, that is what Sri Ramakrishna is telling. It's so practical. The majority of the people, they misunderstood when in the Bhagavad Gita, to explain the Bhagavad Gita, the Shankaracharya is telling the karma, that work binds. What type of karma? He mainly made the yaga and yajna. All the sacrifices, it became so important in that time, so they were protesting, they were guiding the people. That is not the main thing. Bhagavan Buddha also interested against that. His followers perhaps misunderstood, and of course the others against whom he was fighting, they also misunderstood. So this is the problem. When they are giving a teaching, people are not understanding it properly. Bhagavan Sri Ramakrishna is in very simple language, he is telling that do every sort of duties, but in an unselfish spirit. This is the important. In the present day world, if we are not working or doing, we cannot survive. Each and every one is working, and different situation they are working. It doesn't matter at all. When you are working, work. Then he was asking, what type of? Perform your duties without desiring any result. That's also Sri Ramakrishna is explaining. Perform your duties. Work and duties. Sometimes we do some work which are not our duties, not our responsibilities, but we do. But there are some duties, responsibilities, bindness is there, bound to do. Even in that, perform your duties without desiring any result. Unselfish spirit. Then he explained, without any result. Then Master Mahasaya raised the question of secular and sacred. Whenever a person is performing puja, whatever he is doing inside the temple, and that is considered as very holy. Of course that is holy, no doubt, but that is not the holy thing. That's why about Swami Vivekananda, Margaret Noble, Sister Nivedita, when she was writing, she has mentioned a very beautiful sentence. About Swami Vivekananda, he is writing that sentence, in him all were equal, secular and sacred. Secular means these worldly things, and sacred means something special, something holy. Even today, majority of the people who claim that they are practicing religion, go to them. For them, only those things are very, very holy. And they are practicing, they are in the society. But at the same time, they will be telling, no, we do not look at the ladies, so you go to something else, somebody else. And who has given the birth? Who has raised you? And they are thinking, that is a practice. Of course they can do, but at that time, they should be in seclusion. But when you are in the society, you cannot insult people like that. When some people are coming and offering the food, they say, no, 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 I cannot touch your food. But give me the raw items, I will cook it. What type of things? Is it not hypocrisy? So this we have to understand very clearly. Those who are really trying to practice, they must be. Bhagavan Sri Ramakrishna started his life on that. He was not accepting even the prasad of Goddess Kali. He was taking the raw, rice and all those, and then cooking himself. Then slowly, slowly, he raised to that height and he said. So that is the spirituality, that is the religion. And here he is telling about, when the Master Mahasaya was asking secular and sacred work, what type of work one should do, his clear reply was, without exception. All type of work, without exception, perform work. There is no way of renouncing work altogether. So do your work, but again he is giving that, surrender the result to God. This is a very simple way, but very perfect way, most perfect way. If you are surrendering the work, what will come? Humbleness, simplicity, and that gives the purity. And moment you are pure, you are surely going to realize God, no doubt. So that's why one should be very, very cautious about not the work, but how he is performing it. Is within the mind there is any desire? And desire comes in so many different ways. It's so difficult to understand. The mind is constantly deviating us, our mind, because the Prakriti, because the Sri Ramakrishna we'll explain afterwards to Sri Monk. The same Shakti, the same power of God is binding and at the same time giving mukti. It's binding and putting in the wheel of birth and death and all sorts of pain, misery, and at the same time giving, just like the little light, flashing light, some type of joy, and to get that joy they go on, rotating and suffering. And at the same time, same force, if you can please that force, gives mukti. We will get that, and here he is telling in Bhagavad Gita, same Sri Ramakrishna as Krishna mentioning, Yat karoshi, yat asnasi, yat juhosi, dadasi yat tapassasi kaunteya, tat kurushya madarpanam. Look at it. Yat karoshi, whatever you do. And then yad ashnasi, whatever you eat, you take. Jat juhosi, whatever you are offering. Dadasi jat, even the charity that you are doing. Yat tapassasi kaunteya. This is also very important. When a person is doing the japa, meditation, puja, he is doing the tapasya or fasting for God, taking His name, singing His name, His glory. But that he thinks that I should give. This is my merit. As much as it comes, it is good. And if you purchase the ticket in the same airline, they will be giving you some merit, some plus. And then if you can get at so many thousand of that number, then you may get a free ticket from here to St. Louis. That's all. And for that we are going on purchasing the same airline again and again. Then I do not know when we are going to complete that number to St. Louis. And so what is there? So this is the way always we are tempted, always. Purchase one, get two. All people are after that. Because we always want to get something free. And this is the reason we are always hankering after. This free thing, when you are going to that God, it is creating problem. But Sri Ramakrishna, he is telling, give everything to God. Work unattached way. This is an excellent training. Excellent training. His disciple, his son, Swami Brahmananda ji, he is explaining it more simple way. He is telling, when you are going to your office, to a place of work, just before starting the work, remember God. Just. Then in between, when there is a tea break, coffee break or lunch break, again take out the picture from your wallet, look at the God and pray to Him a little. And again finally when you are closing your work from your duty, you are coming out, remember Him and say, this is what I offer to you. Good, bad, I don't know. I am giving it to you. Yat karoshi, yad asnasi, the moment you are going to eat anything, just remember God, you are within me. I am offering it to you. Brahmarpanam, Brahmahavi, that we always chant, that is that only. We only two, myself and Bharadanandaji will be chanting, all devotees. Some will be looking at, some will be wondering, some will be chatting among themselves and not bothering about it. And those who are chanting also don't know the meaning of it. What they are doing. This is the thing we have to understand. No, each and every one should understand. I appreciated, I liked, I brought that. Many other centers, our Vedanta societies, they give the papers in the hands of the devotees. Of course, I have seen that very small group of devotees, so it is easy. Ours is big number of people come, but still I am thinking that we will be distributing, and there is a prayer. After that chanting Brahmarpanam, then they will explain the meaning of it, then they will pray to God in English. It is there with me. I am thinking that I should ask our devotees also to do that, so that it will have some meaning. That is important. And offering your sacrifices of yourselves, whatever we are doing, that yajna, that also, and dadasijat. When you are offering something to a poor person, helping someone, like your people are coming and donating before the societies, the temple, it is going to give to God. Oh God, please accept it. I was just remembering one incident that happened in the life of one of our Swami who has recently passed away, Vice President, Swami Vivekananda ji. One person was very rich, but he was not accepted by all in the society because his way of earning was not good. He became rich. And somehow he wanted to serve the Swami. We didn't disclose anything to the Swami, and this was person was totally new to him. He never knew anything about him. And when he brought a very new car just from that showroom, and he asked, Swamiji, you must come to this car, he was not ready to. He was refusing. No, it is all right, I will go to that car. Another car came, a small car, very old, but still he was liking that. No, I will go to that car. Somehow everyone forced, so he sat over there. The moment the gentleman started the car, maybe a second or so, the one wheel burst and it stopped over there. The new car, how it happened? The gentleman himself was driving, he got down, but he was not able to change the wheel, so he was asking some others' help, some drivers, etc. In the meantime, the Swamiji got down. Usually, whatever happens, he is quietly sitting. He never moves until he is asked to. But this time he opened the door, got down and started walking. Then he found that person who was the first person who came to receive him. He was there with the humble, hey, you are the person, no, you came to receive me? Where is your car? Oh, Swamiji, little, I can walk, no problem, go, quickly. And he almost, very fast he walked, sat. I also ran because I was in church, I should be with him. His, the Shevak, the Swami who was looking after him, he was going on telling how that man will feel. It is nothing but only 2-3 minutes it will take to repair it will change, and we can go. That's a very good car. Jerking will be less. Air condition is good. Then he said, you go, but I am going to in this car. He never used that car. How he could, I don't know. Of course, I didn't disclose anything to anyone that time. And when he reached the ashrama, next day, all the devotees, they brought some food. And a lady also brought food from that house. And in a decorated way, they gave the food, so many items, in a big thala, the plate they brought. It was there before the Swami. He took from everyone's little from the spoon without touching that one, without knowing who has sent it. Then the Shevak again told Swamiji, take from here a little. He said, no, I am done, I am finished. So I won't take it. Then when he was, this has come from his family, how can I say that you have not taken? He said, you take. You like it, you take. You like to satisfy him, you take. I am not going to take. How? Even if you want to serve, it's very difficult, God won't receive it. The gentleman, the businessman who came to Sri Ramakrishna wanted to offer 10,000 rupees, he didn't accept it. But he was requesting the Master Mahashaya to bring 2 dhotis, 2 clothes. This is the wonder. We do not understand. But whose services God is accepting, know it for sure, he is blessed. And that's why he should be very, very humble. Blessed are those who have been chosen for his work. In one place, Swamiji is telling, think yourself blessed because you have been chosen to work for God. Don't complain. Whatever is possible, go on doing and you will be blessed. Sure. So this is what he is telling, yat karoshi yadasnasi, yat juhosi dadasi yat tapassasi kaunteya tat kurushva madarpanam. This is the golden rule to get peace. That we have to remember. Then on the basis of this mainly, Swami Vivekananda has created this monastic organization. Atmana Moksha Jagat Hita. It was totally absent. The Buddhists used to do it, the Christians used to do it, services to the society to some extent, but Hindus never. This time Swamiji introduced. Till now the Hindus do not understand. Till now they will be criticizing, not understanding this is the true religion. Here we find that Master Moshe, he is asking another question, how long one should do one's duty? And so that I can renounce the world, I can take sannyasa and can go. But Sri Ramakrishna is replying, as you advance nearer and nearer to God, He will reduce your activities little by little. Have no fear. So you need not to bother about that, but if you are really sincere, then only it will be reduced. One of our Swamis, I was asking him that you have worked very hard, do you like to go on a vacation? Then he said, Swamiji, only one thing I want. I like to die quickly and to go away from this world and to go to Sri Ramakrishna. See, what type of desire? Because constantly he is thinking that I want to merge with God, but he is very sincere in his duties to perform his work. Whatever he will take up, he will do it perfectly. But in the meantime, he is constantly praying to God, please reduce my all duties and take me to you. That is the way one should practice sadhana. Just because I am not liking this world, the life is difficult over here, so I give it up and then I go, you cannot continue. The religious life is very, very difficult. Then what he will do? He will cheat others. And he himself will suffer and make others also suffer. So this is the reason the Kathamrita, the gospel, is so important. We are so eager to read the Veda, and majority of the people do not understand what is there in the Veda. And they will be simply telling, oh, I have read Veda, I have read this, I have read that. One gentleman was giving order over telephone to 2 Upanishads. He could not pronounce the name of those Upanishads. He was spelling and then, but he is interested to read those Upanishads. What he will understand? Very little. But if you read only the gospel of Sri Ramakrishna in a very simple manner, the truest thing, the best thing, the secret of success in spiritual life, it is there. Very few people will understand it. Most of the people who are in so-called other groups, they don't bother about reading the gospel of Sri Ramakrishna. It's a mistake. That this is the knowledge. It's not only meant for the disciples of Sri Ramakrishna. It's everyone. So what he says, you need not to give away the work. Only do it in such a way so that it is not binding you. How? Give it to God. Perform it perfectly and every day mentally offer it to God. And then you are really sincere for sannyasa, perform your duty perfectly. Just by giving away the duties don't do. But at the same time, within your mind, go on praying, oh God, I want to be with you constantly. He will reduce your duties, responsibilities, and your mental temperament will be such that you will feel joy in repeating the name of God. Now, Master Moshe asked a very tricky question. 3 questions he is asking. Ishwar laver mane ki? What is the meaning of realization of God? Ishwar laver mane ki in Bengali. What is the meaning of realization of God? Second, Ishwar darshan kake bole? What do you mean by God vision? Kemon kore Ishwar darshan hoy? How does one attain it? See, these very important questions. How does one attain God realization? And what is God realization? What do you mean by vision of God? And many people will be telling Swamiji, almost every day I see Goddess Kali. And then what? I don't know what I should do with Goddess Kali. And then you ask Kali, why you are asking me? Kali didn't come to me to tell this. You ask Goddess Kali. He is imagining, or she is imagining. Goddess Kali, the moment you see the Goddess Kali, whole personality will transform. It's not an ordinary vision. And we see light, we see these, we see that, but look at the life. It is not changing. There is no love, there is no purity, there is hankering for everything, and then at the same time demanding, I have this, I have that. I was reading a book and they are telling within 7 days, Nirvikalpa Samadhi. Within 7 days? What type of Nirvikalpa? I don't know. But it's good that if they can teach a person to sleep properly, there's nothing wrong. But this way, people deviating others, cheating others is not true. Sri Ramakrishna is very clear. Now, when he is asking this question, this Master Moshe, it reminded me of the great conversation between, that in the Upanishad it is there, the great conversation between Yajnavalkya and Gargi. One king announced that I have few thousands cows. In those days, that was the wealth. But I will give it only to him who will declare that he is the Brahmagyani. He has realized Brahman. All they assembled, but who will claim that I am the Brahmagyani? No one can claim in that way. Because the moment you are claiming that you are a Brahmagyani, that means there is something wrong. All are sitting and thinking what to do, and suddenly Yajnavalkya, a very famous saint, he came there and he was shouting to his disciple, hey, take those cows to my ashrama. Then all others said, hey, we are sitting over here for a long time. Do you think you are a Brahmagyani? Yajnavalkya said, I offer my pranam to the Brahmagyani, but I need these cows for my ashrama, so I am taking. You cannot take like that, you have to argue with us. And then Gargi, that lady saint. Now in our country, some of the rigid people, so-called orthodox people, they are telling the ladies should not read the Veda. Ladies should not be forefront in the spirituality. So wrong. This Gargi, Maitri, all, who are they? And Gargi, she is arguing with whom? Yajnavalkya. All others were afraid even to ask a single question. He was such a great personality. Then Gargi started arguing, the wonderful question and answer. Then Gargi understood that it is impossible to defeat him. Then she asked a very tricky question. What is Brahman? Yajnavalkya understood. No one can explain what is Brahman. It is subjective knowledge. He understood that to answer this question, he must have to say, I do not know. And then Gargi will say, see, he does not know. How can he take all the cows? Yajnavalkya, then he said, Gargi, Knowing well that no one can answer what is Brahman, you are asking this question. This is very wrong. You want to defeat me, defeat in a proper way. Or you are insulting me. But then he said, I am giving you the caution. If you are playing this trick just to insult me before everyone, just to defeat me before everyone, your head will burst. Then Jagya sat down, offered her pranam, accepted the defeat. So that was the conversation, because the question was, what is Brahman? Now Master Moshe asking the same question, Ishwar labher mane ki? What do you mean by God vision, God realization, how it is possible? And how Sri Ramakrishna is giving the answer? He is not giving the caution. Rather, he is explaining with the help of the Vaishnava philosophy. Swami Vivekananda said, one person was standing on the earth and he was looking at the sun. He is seeing the sun. And he is explaining sun is like this. It's just this, maybe that 2 feet by 2 feet is a round thing. He is correct. And then a person who is traveling in an aeroplane, maybe 35,000 feet height, he also looks at the sun, he explains it in his way. He is also correct. And another one who travels in a rocket, goes nearer to sun, goes out from the orbit of the earth, looks at the sun, his explanation is also correct. But all will be different. Why? Because all are looking at the sun, experiencing sun, but the experiences is having different degree. All are correct, but degree of experience is different. Look at it, very scientific way he is telling. Similarly, Sri Ramakrishna, taking the help of the Vaishnava philosophy, is telling there are pravartaka, sadhaka, siddha, and siddha, siddha. Pravartaka means just set foot on the path of God. He is pravartaka. He came to the temple, offered pranam. One young boy, American boy, he comes and said, I like to be a yogi. And you, well, you're welcome to be a yogi. What I have to do? I told, first few days you just come, offer pranam to Thakur and try to sit over there for 10-15 minutes. As long as you feel peace sitting over there. I found him coming, but he sits only for 2 minutes. Then he goes and, can I talk to you? I say, you can, but the thing is, I told you to go and sit over there for 10 minutes. You like to be yogi. Yogi don't depend on others. He has to control his own mind. And now I have some questions. So he is a pravartaka. He is just setting his foot. He wants to know. He is asking questions. He is reading book. He is also having some conception about God. But that conception of God is very, very shallow, we can say. I told, what do you want after practicing yoga? You know what he said? I want to open my third eye. And then what will happen when the third eye is open? That I don't know, but I read somewhere that if a little third eye is open, you can see everything in this world. And suppose you see everything in this world, then what will happen? Well, I don't know, but I am interested to open the third eye, look at it. This is called pravartaka. I told, very good, try to open your third eye, but it will take long time. You should have patience. Now he has not asked me whether you have opened your third eye or not. So that way I am safe. Now this is the conception. The third eye should be there, 4 faces will be there, so many hands will be there, all this. In the beginning, you ask so many people, they are all devoted people. Ask them the conception of God, all these things. Who are they? Pravartaka. They are only the beginner. That is also having a conception of God. Second, sadhaka. those who are practicing some spiritual discipline, like doing puja, doing japa, chanting God's name, fasting, going to different holy places, they are all sadhaka. They are trying to understand it more clearly. And that is the reason we have to understand that different people with different notion they are coming. And when they are coming over here, they are thinking that whatever they know, that is perfect. Without not knowing the total clear thing, totality, because it depends on the experiences, spiritual experiences. So this sadhaka, he has started the work and then sit there. He has realized, but know from his inner experience that God exists, that's all. He feels the God exists. As I sometimes tell, see the huge program that we could organize over here, almost from from wherever all help came, we do not know, but it came. So that proves the help of God, the God exists. Even sometimes, I do not know, the Thakur's Tithi Puja day, the supposed to be a snowy day, rough weather. But that morning I was praying to God that this is the only day once in a year that people like to come to you, and if the weather is like this, how they will come? Can't you make it up to 2 o'clock so that they will come and they will take prasad and go? Some people. And up to 3 o'clock, it was very clear weather. November, when people were, almost all of them, the local people, they were telling that it is a very wrong decision because it may rain and Ganges and here, it may rain, it may snow, it may be difficult. All those days, a very clear day. Can't we think that all this is the blessings of God? We can. So that way, some conception of the God, faith in God, believe in God. And many times when it is happening, we start the way, yes, it is this. I think I told you that thing that happened in my life, the incident. 4 of us, after sannyasa, we went to Kedarnath. Kedarnath, from the base, you have to climb almost 11 or 13 kilometer climbing on the top. It's a very narrow path and you have to walk. Sometimes the people are going by the horseback also. So obviously you have to be very careful, it is slippery. And we purchased some plastic because sometimes it will be raining, it may rain. So some plastic so that we will cover ourselves if it rains. We were not having the umbrellas or the raincoats. We went to Kedarnath, we offered our pranam, but when coming down it started raining and it was snowing also. And some storm was also there. We opened the plastics, it was of no use because of the wind, gusty wind, immediately we had to leave it. We were almost drenching. There was no place to take shelter. Now I prayed to Thakur. Thakur, all the 4 of us will die when we will reach over there. The 11-13 kilometers is not a matter of joke. We will take long time. The road is becoming slippery. We have to walk. And if it goes on raining like this, I don't think that we will survive. Please stop it. And in exchange, I will go on singing your name, songs. Then I started singing. Whatever songs I could remember, I was singing. Believe it or not, rain stopped immediately. And there was sunshine. Then I was going apart, continuing the song while walking is very difficult because it's descending. You were coming down from the hill. So in one place I forgot that I promised. And after some time again I found the wind, the rain and the snow. I remembered, I'm sorry, I'll sing. Then I started singing. It stopped. again the sunshine. Then in one corner we found there's a tea shop, the country tea shop. We sat over there to have a tea. Then I told my friends, the Swamis, that this thing happening, but it is impossible for me to continue. So you also join with me. I will sing one line, you also join so that I get the rest. One of them, the scientist, he told all these things you were still keeping in your mind. This is nothing, this is in the hill, it always happens. In this corner there is the rain, in that corner it is sunshine. Don't be like that. I told, okay, if you think like that. But the moment we got out of the shop and was walking, it started raining. I told, please join me or we will die. Then we started singing, it stopped. We came down safely. Then after coming down, our guest house, it has broken. The big guest house of the Bharat Seva Sangha. It was a nice guest house it was. So that we could see, the door is over there. So that we let us stop. We won't sing. Let us see what will happen. And when we are walking, stopped that prayer, it started raining, and it rained so hard, torrential. We drenched, we ran and somehow entered into that, and I prayed to Thakur, please excuse me. Long afterwards, it was also it was raining in one place. We went to Cherrapunji, heavily raining. The senior Swami, he was sitting, he is supposed to go. What will happen? Even on the road there is water accumulated. What will happen? How to take him? Then what to do? There was some discussion. Then I narrated this story to him and said, Swamiji, do you think it is really because I prayed to Thakur and it happened? He looked at me, still doubting, he said. Still you are doubting. So this thing happened to many people's life. And that way slowly people get faith in God, because their experiences, and so many people's experiences you will find, it is like that. Ramakrishna Nandaji, who was in South India, in Madras, people were not knowing Sri Ramakrishna over there. So naturally donation was very less. One day there was nothing, not a morsel of food to cook for Thakur. And then he went and shouted to Thakur, okay, you won't give some food? Okay, I will offer the sand. I am going to the beach, bring some sand, then fry the sand and offer it to you, and I will also eat that sand. Let me try. You don't like to, you like to make that, take that examination. Okay, see my faith. He was about to go out of the door. Suddenly one person unknown came with so much of vegetables and other cooking things, other things to cook. It happened. When you read in the life of Ramakrishna Nandaji, we wonder. When you read in the life of Lokeshwaranandaji, it happened. So many things in so many lives. Can't you believe it that there is a grace of God? So that way, slowly, when one realizes God within himself and feels that the existence of God every moment, siddha. And then finally, supremely perfect. Siddha means perfect, supremely perfect. There is no doubt in his mind. Siddha, supremely perfect. That is, we find that our Swami Vivekananda, Brahmananda, all these great souls, supremely perfect, because they know that it is possible and they believe in it. So in the Vedanta also we find Brahmagya, Brahmavid, Brahmavid Baryan and Brahmavid Barishta. This four type of classification in Brahmagyana also. Sri Ramakrishna was explaining from the point of view of the Vaishnavas, Pravartak, Sadhak, Siddha and Siddhar, Siddhya. That means the one just started, a beginner, sadhaka, who is practicing austerity, siddha, a perfect one, and supremely perfect one. And similarly we find the Brahmagya, Brahmavid, Brahmavid Varyan, Brahmavid Varishta. So it doesn't mean that one, the moment he realized God, immediately he is equal to everyone. No. There are differences and differences of this type of classes, of his experiences. Then Sri Ramakrishna is telling, you know how one goes in this way? Suppose someone is searching the master in a dark room. And he goes inside, it is so dark, it is difficult to see anything, he goes on touching. First he is touching the almirah, then a table, then a chair, and every time he is touching, he says, no, it is not my master. It is not my master. It is not my master. Like this, when he reaches to that bed and touches that person, he says, yes. So, neti, you have to advance like this. You have to say, this is not God, this is not God, this cannot be God, this is not this. And then finally, when you really realize God, from your within, from your inside, you can feel this is God. And there will be no doubt about it. You needed to go and ask anyone. But, then he said, but in order to realize God, one must assume one of the attitudes, Santya, Dasya, Sakhya, Vatsalya, Madhura, the 5 different attitudes. Master Mahashaya, Sri Ma, he asked 3 questions, and the last question was how to realize God. Sri Ramakrishna is explaining how to realize God. You have to accept one attitude. What is the attitude? According to your temperament. Santya. Shantya means it is the attitude of the rishis. So many things are going on, but I am not perturbed, I am not disturbed, I am not attached. Nothing is affecting my tranquility. I know all these things, but he will never raise his finger to stop it. Something bad, something good, so many things are going on. It's just like observer, going on observing without any reaction. Physically sometimes we do not do, but mentally, oh, this should be like this, that should be like that, why they are not doing like this, why they are doing like that, we go on thinking. So that is not the attitude of the Shanta. They are completely tranquil. They are not at all perturbed by anything, all the changes and so many things happen in this world. Seeing all this, they are unperturbed. Because they know this is the work of God. This is called Shantya. Then Dasya. He is perfect. He is having his personality, his knowledge, his everything, but at the same time, totally dedicated to God. That's why again and again, as an example, traditionally they say it is Mahavira, Hanumanji. Hanumanji was a great saint. He was a very perfect knowledge in Veda, physically also very strong, courageous. He could do anything and everything himself. He was a yogi. He could took the form of a very small thing or a very big one. Even then, all his knowledge he dedicated at the feet of Ramachandra. It's not just a slave. I have written an article, Swami Vivekananda, in one of his poems, he's mentioning Dash Tabo Doha. Doha means Thakur and Ma. Doha means two. He's mentioning about Sri Ramakrishna and Ma Sarada. I am the servant of you too. How a personality like Vivekananda can say that I am the servant? It's not humbleness. It is his realization. It is his way to realize God, totally dedicated to Thakur. And when he is coming back to India, the people are giving, praising him. He is telling, don't do that. If you have to praise, praise the name of Sri Ramakrishna. So that humbleness, that is called Dasya. Shakya, like the Arjuna. He was very free with Bhagavan Sri Krishna. It's like Shakya Bhava. I think Oli Bull, she was having that relation with Swami Vivekananda. And she used to go to Swamiji and she used to say that Swamiji is my friend. Either Miss MacLeod or Oli Bull, I may be making the. And one of them, that lady, she helped Swamiji here in America in so many ways. She arranged everywhere Swamiji's lectures. See how these devotees are working. The devotees, they are working as a second line of defense. How? They organize the program, then invite the Swami, and then spread the message. They will be inviting their friends and relatives and the neighbors, spreading the message. There will be, and this Miss Olibull and this ladies over here in America, they did so many things about Swamiji, helped him to spread the message. And she used to say, I am the friend of Swamiji, I am not a disciple. When the young Swamiji used to ask, what is your age? She was elderly. She used to say, I count my age from the day when I met Swami Vivekananda. And this is the devotee, so devoted. She used to go with her shoe on to Swami Vivekananda's room. This is my friend's room. Why should I have to put off my shoe? She used to go and sit on the bed of Swamiji, my friend's bed. I have every right to sit over here. So she used to behave Swamiji because her attitude was friendly. So this way we find the Santya, Dasya, Sakhya, then Vatsalya, Yashoda, again and again. That is the classical examples. Yashoda, she used to feel, and she has seen Krishna. When the Krishna opened the mouth, she saw the whole universe is within the mouth of Krishna. She saw it. But again, she used to feel, no, if I am not protecting Krishna, what will happen to that child? If I am not feeding him, if I am not taking care, what will happen? That is the motherly attitude even to God. Constantly thinking about God, but not as a devotee, but as someone with love trying to give service and protection to God. So that is called motherly love, motherly affection, Vatsalya, and Madhura, that is the attitude of the Radha. And then finally we find Sri Ramakrishna is introducing another attitude, Santana Bhava, attitude of a child. A child only believes that my parent is there, my mother is there, my father is there, and careless. The child knows the parents will take everything, all care will be taken by them. I need not to bother about anything, about the food, about the dress, about anything, only what he has to do or she has to do, the child has to do, believing and then praying. I want this much money, I have to purchase this, I have to go over there, I like to do that, I like to do this. He is sure that I am going to get it because he is the father. Sri Ramakrishna is also telling, if you totally believe that God is your mother or your father, you have every demand on him. You need not to pray. Go and demand. What is it? You are my father and I am suffering. Why should you not give? You are bound to give. So like that only. How it comes? Complete faith. So Master Maharshi asked 3 questions, And Sri Ramakrishna gave the reply. First, what is the meaning of realization of God? Sri Ramakrishna said, at different stages, the meaning is different. Then he said, Ishwar darshan kake bole. That reply also he gave in that. The one, he may feel that there is existence of God. Another, who is supremely perfect, knows it well. So Ishwar darshan means that idea. Sometimes people will say, I don't believe God because no one has seen. Have you tried to see it? If you have not tried, then how can you understand it? So that is the way you have to understand. The Ishwar darshan, different levels are there. Some people only thinking about, and some people, they have really realized it. Sri Ramakrishna in another place is telling, some people have heard the name of milk. Heard the name of milk. Some have seen it, white liquid. Some have drank the milk and became strong. They are supremely perfect. So the difference of degrees are there in God realization too. How to realize God? Then he said, you have to take one attitude. I have to ask myself, what is my attitude? There are different type of attitude, different type of temperament. Accordingly, I should develop that attitude towards God. So today, after this, and next, we will discuss about how Sri Ramakrishna is explaining these examples. Let us offer our pranam to Thakur. Niranjanam nityam anantarupam bhaktanukampa dhrita vigraham vai Ishavataram Parameshamidyam Tam Ramakrishnam Shirasa Namamaha. Om Shanti 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 Harihi Om Tat Sat Sri Ramakrishna Arpanamastu.